Welcome everybody to the Progressive Fit podcast. I'm your host Luke Lamont and I'm joined today by Aron Williams, also co-host. And on today's episode, we're going to help you out by talking about 5, and then we throw in a 6th at the end, points that are going to help you ease your way back into the gym sensibly to avoid injury and just to make your life easier. So it's been a while since we've both done a podcast, and we thought this was a crucial podcast. It got put out on Instagram stories and it came back that everybody wanted this podcast. So this is what we've done. We sat down and we spoke about it. We narrowed it down to 5 key points, and the 6th point sort of sums everything up, okay? So this is a must listen to podcast, and if you've got any questions or any queries after this podcast, do not hesitate to get in touch with either myself at Luke Lamont PT across all social media, or at Aron Williams PT, again, across all social media, because we'll both be very happy to take your questions and try and help you out with any concerns that you may have. Enjoy the show, guys. Right, as then we're back with the podcast. It's been a while since we've both been on, so this will be good and very relevant. When I've done the Instagram story, one person voted no, and that person is a client of mine. And she messaged me afterwards and said she accidentally pressed no. So it was a unanimous decision of yes, 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 and everywhere. I think it was like 20 odd yeses. So that was really good feedback, to be honest. That was really good.
Yeah, brilliant.
So here we are then. We're going to crack on with the podcast. And we've got 20 minutes because I've got sessions this evening. And I'm pretty sure you've got sessions this evening too.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 5 points you've got together as, and we're just going to talk about going back into the gym and what we can help you with, basically. So, as we know you well, we had a quick chat just before we started, so we won't do the whole, oh, Haz, how are you? We'll just crack on with the 5 points. Yeah. So, point number 1, Az, what have we got?
So, point number 1, we've got don't rush back in. So, the gyms are opening, but there's no rush to get back to the gym. They're going to be busier, in the first week or two, and we've seen that with pretty much everything that's open. Look at the pubs over last week. They were so busy, bookings are full and everything. So don't worry if you can't get back to the gym. What's another week, 2 weeks on top of what we've already been through, especially if you're not comfortable going out in public at the moment. If you've got family members that are maybe still shielding, don't rush back to the gym. It's not the most important thing in the world at the moment.
No, I agree. It's not essential. We can still train at home. There's still things we can do around health and fitness that aren't gym related. For example, I go for daily walks. It's just something that's a staple in my routine now. And I think that will probably burn more calories in essence if we look at it like that than actually going to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to burn those calories. But there's no pressure, absolutely no pressure whatsoever to get back into the gym. As you say, the pubs have been rammed. I'm sure the restaurants will be once they actually open properly. And I think some people feel pressured to go back in the sense that, other people are going, so I've got to go. But do what's best for you, I guess, is the best take-home point for people from that. I'm certainly not one to rush back in. I am because I work in a gym. If I wasn't, then I probably wouldn't be going back. I'm itching to train properly in a gym. But I still think potentially everywhere's opening too soon. But because it's my industry that I work in, I've sort of got to go back.
Yeah.
But the main thing is just don't rush back, innit?
Yeah.
We've got other points.
You said, this is our livelihood, really. We're in the industry, we work in the industry. We want to go back to work. We're excited to get back to it and get back to a bit of normality. But if it was the other way around and we weren't in the industry and we were thinking, maybe they're opening a little bit early, don't come in. You don't need to go into the gym. It's not essential. You've been training at home for I've lost count of how long it's been now, but the last few months you've been training at home, or you've been going for walks and you've been burning your calories that way, like you've said. So there's literally no rush back to the gym if you're not comfortable with it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I put a story on my Instagram. This is for the people to reassure them that if they're thinking, oh, have I got to go back? Like, because, you know, people are thinking, oh, they'll judge me if I don't go back. I put a story up on a poll up on my Instagram story to say, are you going back or are you waiting? And most people said that they're going back, but most of my followers said that they weren't. They were waiting a few weeks. So the people that were saying they were going back were like people, you know, from different Instagram accounts where they're just flicking through stories, and a lot of them were fitness-based professionals, so they're obviously going to go back, or the competitors, so they are going to go back because in essence it's their life. Whereas people who use the gym as part of their lifestyle to maintain a healthy lifestyle, they're not rushing back. So if you're somebody like that who's thinking, oh, but it's not my life, but I want to be healthy, blah 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 blah, like, and you feel pressure to go back and you feel under pressure from those around you, like, there is no pressure. Most people aren't going back just yet. The flip side to that is, I think the weights area in particular will be rammed. If we're looking at a commercial gym like Pure Gym, for example, downstairs in our gym, in my gym, the weights area, the resistance equipment, that is going to be busy. The cardio equipment upstairs, I think, will be relatively quiet. And I think it's going to be far easier upstairs to stay out of people's way, because when you've got a row of treadmills, it's much easier to take a treadmill out of order and people won't use it. Whereas when you've got benches with dumbbells, people who use that equipment are more inclined to think they're tougher than COVID and won't really adhere to social distancing. I think staff will put in as many strict precautions as possible to keep people away, but there's only so much obviously staff can deliver. Yeah. So I think if anything, the weights area is going to be busier. The busiest part, the free weights area. The second busiest will probably be the resistance machines, and then I think the cardio bit will be fairly quiet, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I think hopefully with that, just in most gyms, I'd imagine there'll be a cap on a certain amount of people in. So if it is really busy downstairs in that resistance kit and like the free weights, then it's more than likely going to be pretty quiet upstairs with all the cardio kit. And like you said as well, like, a lot of people may think of the gym as like staying fit and healthy all the time, but there's loads of ways to like stay fit and healthy and get moving. If you couldn't get on any weights because they were so busy and you were worried about coming in like too close to other people, you could just go upstairs and change your session completely. Like, it leads into our next point, but change your session completely and jump on like a treadmill and do half an hour on the treadmill of like a HIIT workout or something, or on a rower or a bike or something like that, where not as many people are going to be using.
Yeah, 100%. And we will probably lead it into point 2 now. But what I was going to say was like, people have like leg days and stuff like that, or back days or upper body days, but we can incorporate a bike, do heavy cycles for 30 seconds on a really heavy resistance, like it's a really tough slog, jump off it and do bodyweight squats. And I can guarantee you will feel that and you will work the muscles pretty well just by doing that. And that obviously is upstairs in Pure Gym Chester, out of the way of everybody else, on a bike, and you're incorporating a squat. So you're still squatting, or you can do some lunges. So there's still little things that can be done using different pieces of equipment, because let's not forget, we've probably not had a proper workout for several months now. We might have been doing stuff at home, but it's probably nothing, unless you're a fitness professional, probably nothing compared to what you would do normally in the gym.
Yeah, definitely. It does, to be fair, that leads really nice into the second point as well, doesn't it? So the second point I've got is plan sessions in advance. So don't just turn up to the gym and wing it. Like, for a lot of people that either have a coach or have pay for programming or follow a program, then that won't necessarily be such a problem. But there is a lot of people that just come in and go, what am I going to do today? I'll go and squat. And it's like, right, what am I doing next? Looking around and seeing what's free, sort of thing. Like, it sort of merges in for the other points I've got, but I won't go into them yet. But it leads on to, like, you're wasting a lot of time because you don't really know what to do. And then also you're trying to use all sorts of equipment. And I don't know I don't know about what Pure Gym are doing, but I know what we're doing in our gym is we're going to have stations. So set stations, that's where you're going. That's the plan. So it'll have on your station, you can pick what it has. So it may have a hex bar, weights to go with a hex bar, and then you've got like kettlebells, bands, and stuff like that. So that's your station. You stay there for the whole hour that you're booked in. Wipe everything down, and then you go. So if you go with you don't go in with a plan, don't really know what you're doing somewhere where you haven't got that station, you're going to sort of be sat there thinking, right, what can I go on here? What's free? So yeah, that's the bigger thing. Have a plan in your head or have it down on paper. Go in. It's like a shopping list. Like you go into the shop and you're like, right, I need this, and then you get them, find your space, and that's your training session.
Yeah, you're more efficient. So it's looking like there's time caps across all the gyms, and it's looking like it's going to be an hour. So whilst not planning your training session might work in the sense of you go on whatever's available, if there's nothing available, you're going to be waiting around and you're going to be trying to think and look for things to do, at which point you're going to lose time. So what could be an hour's training session could turn out to be a 20-minute training session because you're queuing and waiting and looking around trying to find things. So I agree 100% with Aaron and say have a plan. I would even say have 2 plans. So have an A and a B. For each probably 5 points of your workout. Let's say you're going to have 5 points, 5 exercises. So have a main squat movement, a hinge movement, a pull movement for upper body, and then a push movement for upper body. And then the 5th could be some sort of core exercise, ab exercise. And maybe you could include a 6th, which could be some sort of conditioning or cardio exercise. Now, I would pick 2 exercises for each one. So I'll probably pick a machine-based one if that's what you want to do. But I'd also include a free weight or body weight exercise. So perfect example would be, you might want a leg press. But if the leg presses aren't available, right, I'm going to go and do some goblet squats with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Now, there's 3 options for one sort of movement. So that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. It could be that, right, I want to do a leg curl, not available. So I'm going to go and do a dumbbell Romanian deadlift. And that's the same with chest as well, back. Have these different options, plan your session ahead, and then just run off that one program. Try and get in and get it done efficiently, get it done properly. Don't rush it. Take your time, work your way through the exercises like you would normally with the correct technique. Make sure it's 100% perfect. And then go from there. So definitely plan your sessions. And like I say, have an A and a B. Have your plan A and then have a backup as well.
Yeah, probably leads into as well, like I've just thought of this as you've been talking, was leads into like planning your rest times as well. How many people would just sit there and just go, oh yeah, I'll go when I feel like going. Like, plan your rest times and stay as strict as possible. You can sort of then work out how long is it going to take you for like that exercise to be done before you move on to the next one. So you could say, right, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to do my squats. I've got 5 sets. I'm going to have a minute in between. And I need to be done within 10 minutes sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously that's really quick for like, especially if you're going to build up a bit heavier. Yeah. That's really quick, but like have sort of a time frame in mind. Like, I think if you're planning your session, most of the time you've probably got a pretty good idea of what you're going to do. Like, you've been doing it for a while if you're going to start planning your session. So yeah, have time frames in mind. You'll know how long a certain exercise will take you. Like, I know if I was to do 10 reps of back squat, for example, say I've got, I don't know, a moderate weight on it, it's going to take me about 30 to 40 seconds for that whole set. So I know that. So going into it, I can be like, right, I've got 5 sets. Let's say that's 5 minutes of actual work. And then if I'm trying to get it done in 10 minutes, I've got 5 minutes of rest, right? That's a minute rest between each set. And that probably leads more into that time efficiency as well, which is a point down the line. But yeah, plan everything, plan as much as you can, and yeah, have more than one plan. And I like the bit where you said about like planning different exercises. So if that's not available, you plan a different exercise, you look at it and you go, oh yeah, I'll go straight onto this.
Yeah, because I can just see it now. People queuing for bench presses, people queuing for lat pull downs and rows when there's different options. And again, you made a good point about timing your rest periods. Like for me, that's like a crucial thing to do anyway, because what you'll see a lot of people do is they'll tend to do a set, not really go to failure, nowhere near failure. So they're just working a little bit, then they're stopping, and then they're scrolling through social media or they're on the phone, and then they lose complete track of how long they've waited in between. And if you to do that for the whole session, what would normally take you as a whole session could take you an hour, usually takes you 2 hours. So you're going to get booted out after halfway through your session. So you're not going to get as much done. And at which point you're going to be like, shit, I wasted my time. So that's another reason why you want to be in there with a stopwatch. I personally use a watch rather than use my phone because then I'm off my phone. But 100% time your rest periods.
Yeah, brilliant.
Ace, point number 3, please, Azza.
So point 3 is when you're doing your plans. So moving on, when you're doing your plans, plan it with minimal equipment. So don't just go nuts because you haven't had it for the last few months and go, right, I'm gonna use this machine, then this machine, and then this weight. Like minimal equipment is going to be better. Grab a bar, grab a kettlebell and a dumbbell maybe, or grab a bar, the weights that you need, and you can do a whole session with just a barbell. If you really wanted, like all these situations, they're not ideal, but they're just working with current circumstances. So if you needed to, you could do a whole session with a barbell. You could do a whole session with dumbbells. Don't plan your sessions to be using every piece of equipment in the gym, because like you said, like people are going to be waiting. Like people are going to be waiting for different things. Like that in Pure Gym, there's what 2-3 lat pull downs, is there something like that?
Yeah.
Imagine the queues for them if like people are just waiting around and because they've planned for like they're going to use every bit of resistance kit in the gym. It's going to be nuts. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones is just plan for minimal equipment. Like it's going to be more equipment than you've used at home unless you've got some state-of-the-art gym at home. Then refer back to point 1 and you don't really need to rush back to the gym. But yeah, if you haven't got that at home, whatever's in the gym and using that minimal equipment is going to be a lot more than what you've got at home.
Yeah, I mean, on the back of that as well, if you're planning 10 exercises for the gym and 2 of those exercises are quad-based exercises, so if you're planning a squat and a leg extension and you're planning 3 sets of each exercise, do 6 sets of one exercise. So instead of planning the 10 exercises, you can actually have the 5, which is increase the sets per exercise. So you might want to do 6 sets on your quads, on your legs, in that one session. And instead of doing 2 exercises, do 1 exercise. So then you're not having to take up as much equipment as well. So yes, okay, a squat and a leg extension are completely different exercises. Sort of work the quadriceps, but remember what's going on. We've got to like have allowances where we can't take over the gym and go into full on beast mode and throw our weight about and stuff like this. We've got to be sensible and we've got to be cautious as well. So look at increasing the amount of sets that you do and reducing the exercises so that you're not dotting around 10 places in the gym, but you're maybe only going around 5 places in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, just away from like the gym and like training wise, it's then like you're looking after your hygiene a little bit better. Like we're asked in shops at the moment, I don't know if you've been doing it as well, but if you go to the shop and you grab something, like I've just been like, right, I'm buying that now. I'm not like I'm not touching everything.
I don't know about you, I'm touching all the fruit I am. And I'm putting it back because I don't want it.
Breathing on it. But yeah, a lot of people are asking now. A lot of shops are asking to, if you touch something, to buy it, like not put it back. So we're keeping what we're touching to a minimum, and if you can keep that in the gym, it's going to make everyone's jobs easier. It's going to make your life easier. You're not having to clean as much equipment, so you're not wasting as much time there, and it's going to make like our jobs that are working in the gym a lot easier, because we're not going to have to like make sure that's clean as well. So it sort of works both ways. Like with training, it's more efficient, and you're not trying to wait around for different equipment. And then also for hygiene reasons, it's loads different as well.
Yeah, and it's better for the environment as well. Yeah. Obviously, we're not having to use as much blue roll to wipe down the surfaces of 10 machines. We can just do 5. Got to get the environment in there. Okay, cool. Point number 4 then, please, Az.
So we've talked about this quite a bit already, but it's just be time efficient in the gym.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are guilty, and I've been guilty of it as well, of chatting in the gym. And like we've said, we're probably only going to get a limited amount of time in the gym at the moment, for the foreseeable future as well. Like this could be for the rest of the year. It could lead into next year. So it's looking like we're going to have to book in our place. We're going to have to book in to come in, and you've got an hour. You've got your hour slot. Like, be efficient with that time. Like, don't get in. I know you haven't seen people for a while. For the most part anyway, but like, don't get stuck in conversations. Time your rests. Also make sure that we're efficient with what we're doing as well. So don't plan, like you said, Luke, don't plan like 3 or 4 different exercises that work in the same muscle group. Maybe superset them together. So by supersetting them together, you do them in that one set, then you have your rest, and it cuts down so much extra time, because you're not resting between each exercise. Then you're resting between each set and doing maybe 2, 3, even 4 exercises. A good thing that I'll probably be doing is, what makes some of my sessions a lot more time efficient, is doing it every minute on the minute. So you can go 10 minutes and you can go 4 exercises. 5 exercises. That doesn't make sense. 5 exercises. So you do everything twice. But because it's on the minute, it's only going to take you 10 minutes, and you've done 5 different exercises within that 10 minutes. So yeah, plan your sessions, but make it time efficient as well.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of supersetting in terms of what's called agonist antagonist muscles. So everyone will know that the superset biceps, which is the front of your arm, upper arm, with triceps, the back of your upper arm. So a lot of people do a bicep exercise into a tricep exercise. What I also love to see is people doing a chest exercise into a middle back exercise. Again, it's working the opposite. So when one's working, the other one is relaxing, and then it switches over on that next set. So, for example, it could be that you do a bench press into a bent over row. Nobody's going for PBs, heavy PBs. So there's no excuse to go, oh, yeah, but I need to get that max rest so that I can go back from my 1 rep max or my 3 rep max. Like, you're not going to be doing that in the first few weeks, or at least I hope you're not. So we're going to be looking at increasing the reps, decreasing the weight slightly, and just getting that movement pattern back. Just make sure that we're getting that mile in right around that circuit a little bit more, just to have make sure that we can remember the technique and do it correctly. Once we've done that after a few months, then we can maybe switch. But for the time being, we can superset these exercises. As I says, doing one exercise back into another, and then have your rest. Yeah. That way you're elevating your heart rate that little bit more, you're burning a little bit more, but also you're being more time efficient. So it works for quads and hamstrings, which is the front of your thigh, back of your thigh. It works for maybe shoulders and back. There's all different combinations that we can throw in there. So when one muscle group is working, the following set it's relaxing whilst you're working another muscle group. It could be that we do a German composition style of training, which is where you do a lower body hinge movement like a deadlift or a kettlebell swing, and you do an upper body push movement like a push up or an overhead press or a bench press. So again, we're working the complete opposites. One's on the top front, one's on the bottom back. And then we could do it the other way around so that we do quads and back. And then that way, again, we're getting that rest after we've done 2 exercises, 2 sets, which aren't working together.
Yeah.
Ace, any more on point 4 as?
To be fair, I think I've been through it over the past 4 points anyway.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now the one that you're going to lie about.
What's that?
Another one that you're going to lie about.
That I'm going to lie about.
Don't go mad. You got to go mad.
Yeah. Don't go nuts in your first week back.
20 sets of chest on Monday's gone.
Yeah, you pretty much said it towards the end there. Like, don't be that guy who's going to go, right, I'm going to one rep max my deadlift today on your first session back. Like,
it won't be deadlift, it'll be bench press. Everyone does.
Yeah, well, if it's a Monday.
Yeah, if it's a Monday.
But yeah, don't be that guy that's like coming back in and like trying to lift previous numbers straight away. Like, we've had 3-4 months off of heavy training, unless, like we said, you've got a state of the art like gym at home, but the majority of us don't. So we've had this time off heavy training. We've been sort of getting by, making do with what we've got. So don't come in and think, right, my numbers, I could deadlift 150 kilos before the gym, so I'm going to put 140 kilos on, and I'm going to do that for a couple of reps. It's not a good idea at all. You're putting yourself a higher chance of injury, as well. If like you're going to be sore. Like, if we think about it logically, how sore were you when you first started going to the gym? You're going to get that feeling again when you first start training properly again. So yeah, like, ease your way back into it. Don't go mad with the volume. Don't have loads of sets of everything, keeping it really light, because we've said, like, don't lift stupid heavy, but then equally don't go very low volume and just smashing as much weight as you can. Have that happy middle ground and start easing your way back in. Maybe think about your numbers and think about percentages if you can work like that, or maybe just go on based on how you feel. Like, how heavy does this feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Aim to stick between sort of 5, and then the max I'd go would be 8. Like, a very, very max would be 8 for the time being. Ease your way back in, and then this won't be for most people, because for most people 1 reps like don't really matter. But if you're training for performance, so I work with people that train for performance, have a month, maybe 2 months of just getting back into it, easing back into it, then test where you are in terms of your 1 reps. Let's test where you are in terms of that squat strength, where we are in terms of that deadlift strength, and then we can move on from there and start to return to our normal training from there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the science aspect of it is, and the injury prevention side of things are, that unless you've been training heavy at home, which I probably say 99% of people haven't, at most, I think I've had 40 kilograms to play with. So I've been doing high rep. Now, when we look at doing stuff like that, we're working the muscles and we're taking the muscles to that burning point. So something just weird happened then. So I edited it out because I thought a wardrobe was going to fall on me. So little meltdown, but we're back with it now. So injury side of things, what we've been doing is over the last few months, if you've had any weight to work with, I've had about 40 kilograms. So I've been taking my muscles to almost failure. That's like a burning sensation. So what I haven't really used or challenged are my ligaments or my tendons. Now, when we go heavy, that's what we use a lot of. A lot of stress goes on the joints. In order for the muscle to attach to the bone, we need tendons. In order for joints to attach to each other, we need ligaments. Once you start putting a heavy load under those, shit happens. It's not like they're just going to go back to how they were. The risk of injury is so much higher because you've just given them a 4-month holiday. You've used your muscles, but you haven't used your ligaments and tendons as often as what you've used your muscles. So that is why you cannot go back to going really heavy, because you're just going to knacker yourself. If you think about your back is a lot of joints. So your vertebrae, we've got joints all the way down our back. You start trying to max out your deadlift, you're going to be in snapback city. Let's put it that way. And if I see you crippled on the floor, I ain't calling a paramedic because you're an idiot. Simple as. But let's not get there. Let's be sensible, okay? Let's take the joking out of it, but let's be sensible, and let's not cripple ourselves first week back in the gym, or first month, or first 2 months. We've got to take it easy. We've got to ramp it up slowly. What we're looking at with reps and sets is, I would probably say anywhere from 4 to 10 sets per week per muscle group. So it could be that you want to focus on upper body, which a lot of lads will probably want to do. So therefore, you might want to do 10 sets on your back, 10 sets on your chest. Therefore, do about 4 or 6 sets on your lower body per week. So if we look at training 3 times per week, I'm going to do 3 whole body sessions per week. That's about 3 sets per session, or 2 sets per session on legs. And then that's it, done. If you're a female, you probably do the opposite. You probably do the 10 sets on your lower body, and then the 4 sets on the upper body. So it's the same sort of thing, but we're just flipping it around. And when it comes to reps, like I said, we want to keep some in the tank. So what they're called reps in reserve. So we don't want to go to failure, because we're going to look at damaging ourselves. Like I just said about the tendons, the ligaments, we haven't used them. We might use our muscles, but not the tendons and ligaments, so we can cause damage. So we want to look at doing it. We want to keep it reps in reserve, anywhere from 5 to 3 to begin with. Don't go near that 1 rep max. Don't go near that failure. Don't go near that 1 away from failing. Keep short of that, and then build up to it. We don't want to go straight in, do 20 sets of chest as a joke about, or 20 sets of glutes. We want to build up to it, because you're going to go from here all the way down the line, and then it's going to be even harder to progress once you stall, because then what you're going to do, 25 sets of chest or 25 sets of glutes. What we want to do is we want to go from no sets of chest or glutes to 5 sets of chest and glutes. Once we've plateaued there and progress has stalled, we go to 6 or 7 sets of chest or glutes, and then we build it up slowly, and then we can get the rewards for longer over time. Yes, you might get quicker by going in harder, but you are going to be broken. You are going to be sore, and you're not going to be able to come in the next few days because you're going to be too sore. You're not going to have efficient workouts. Your numbers are probably going to drop next time around you do that, because you're still recovering. Yeah. It's not really quick, really easy for the body to recover, especially after a 4-month holiday.
Yeah.
So
essentially, we want to wipe the slate clean as well.
Exactly. We're going in there like a new person. Yeah.
Forget about where we were at pre-lockdown. I know you use a training log, like you use a book, but for people that use like a book, like a training log like that,
I'll be buying a new one, and I'll be starting fresh, not looking at old numbers until 2 months down the line. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Like, buy yourself a new one. Don't even look at what those old numbers are. Put that aside. Don't take that with you. Yeah. Use a new one. Plan your sessions in there. Do your sessions from there. Then, like you said, a couple of months down the line, when we're sort of feeling like we're getting back to it, then we can look at, right, where were my numbers before lockdown? Right, they were here. Oh, well, my numbers are here now. So I'm pretty much caught up to where I was. As well, like something you said there, Luke, don't plan to go to the gym every single day. Like we said, you're going to be sore. You're going to start feeling sore. Easy way back into that. Even if it's twice a week for now, it's more time than you've been able to go for the past 4 months. So twice a week, maybe build it up. After a couple of weeks, go 3 times a week, build it up again, 4 times a week. And as restrictions start to be eased, and maybe you don't have to book in, and maybe you haven't only got an hour, then you can start increasing it like 4 or 5 times a week, and increasing the amount of time you spend in the gym. Yeah, 100%. Because also it's going to be a new place. It's going to be like, oh yeah, I really want to go. You're going to really look forward to it. But the last thing you're going to do is get 2 months down the line and be sick of it. Yeah. Like, I'm a dad with 2 kids and a girlfriend, and I don't want that anymore.
like lockdown's done me head in, and I want it to be just me. Joking aside, but that's the sort of thing we want to do, right? Beginning of lockdown, we explored all around where we live, right? 2 months in, I was sick of where I live. I hate my village. I don't want to see it ever again because I've explored it that many times. Like, I'm done with it. We don't want to get like that with the gym. We've got this new place, or we've got this place we can go back to. It's new. We haven't been there for 4 months. We don't want to ram it in and get sick of it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's a point number 6 as.
Go on.
Get a coach.
Yeah. To be fair,
get the guidance of a fitness professional.
Yeah. It'll make every single one of these 5 points that we've just been over so much easier for you.
100%.
Just even speaking to someone, get in touch with someone, speak to someone you trust, someone you follow. We're always happy to answer questions. Any questions, we're more than happy. So fire them over. But yeah, it makes every single one of those so much easier. And pretty much you don't have to think about most of them.
No, even if you don't want to coach, you don't want to PT sessions with someone standing next to you watching you exercise. If you don't want to do check-ins and do online coaching, just get somebody to go, right, sit down with me. Let me talk to you about what I want, where I want to go, what I'm currently doing, and create a plan for me. And that'll be all you need. So what you need to do then is pay for this coach to maybe have a consultation with you and create a plan. So it might be a one-off payment of, I don't know what, £100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that will be it then for 6, 8, 12 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got the right direction. You've got a good plan. You've got the advice of somebody. And if you were to approach me with that and you had a question at week 6, I'm not going to be like, oh, that question's £50. I'm going to be helping you out. And I know you'll be the exact same as. So it's not like you're paying for this plan and then you're on your own. So even at week 6, you get a question like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be helped if you go to a decent coach, one with ethics anyway.
Yeah.
So that will be my probably out of all of the things now. If you sort somebody out to get help, the 5 points are solved because we're not going to create a program that is going to be bench press, dumbbell press, shoulder press, this press, that press, every press. We're going to give you a good program so that you can get in, get out, get a good workout. And I'm sure there are plenty of other coaches out there that will do the exact same.
Yeah. I'd probably, everyone's on social media. Everyone, pretty much everyone now finds a coach on social media. They follow them already.
Yeah.
Have a look at what they're posting, what they're doing. What are their clients doing? If they're posting the clients, what are they doing? If they're posting themselves training, if you see the same recurring thing with everyone, probably not the person. Equally, there is some things you'll see a lot of clean and jerks on mine, but I do Olympic weightlifting, so there's literally 2 lifts that we learn. So there's 2 things, but if you see loads of bench pressing and not much rowing,
run a mile,
pulling, probably avoid that.
I know where you're going from. You don't want to go for somebody who gives the same program to every person. That's what you want to avoid.
Yeah, pretty much. But it also goes back into the plan the sessions in advance and what you were saying. Don't do loads of sets on one thing. Don't do 10 sets on chest. That's not what we want to do, especially, and it's not going to be efficient for our time either.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we'll have to call it there because I've got a session in 5 minutes. Guys, that's us done. So we'll catch you next time. Goodbye from me.
Yeah, goodbye from me.
Guys, that's it. That's the end of the podcast. I really hope you enjoyed that. I thought it was really insightful and hopefully it'll be very helpful for you. Just to go over those 5, potentially 6 points again. So number 1, we've got you don't have to rush back. Number 2, we've got make sure that you plan your sessions in advance. Number 3 is plan with minimal equipment when you do plan your sessions. Number 4 is make sure that you're time efficient. Don't waste your time whilst you're there. Number 5 is don't go mad. You don't have to go chasing personal bests or try and pick up where you left off pre-COVID. Like, we're starting fresh, so don't go crazy. You don't want to injure yourself in the first week or month or whatever. And then the 6th one just kind of ties them all together is you could get in touch with a fitness professional, whether that's to get online coaching, personal training, or whether it's just to seek advice, get a consultation and get a program. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon, and remember, make being progressive a habit.